you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Alliance Forever. Today, I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxis map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 to the west, ending with Team 2 in the east. Starting off with the southernmost player of Team 1, it is Ocpuck going first land as a Cybran. He was a 2000 rated player, and he is in Stitch Blue. To his northeast in the color Rust, in the middle of Team 1's main front lineup, we have Crixion going first land as another Cybran for Team 1. He is, of course, in Rust, and he is a 1200. To his northwest in Emerald Green, another Cybran player for Team 1. It is Loopy going first air. He, of course, is an 1100, and he is in Emerald Green as a Cybran. To his east, we have the first Seraphim player of Team 1. It is Tesla Max going first land in Royal Purple, and he is another 1300. And last but not least, for Team 1 in the north in orange, the color orange, it is Mr. Female Dog going first air as a Cybran, and he is a 1300, the same as Tesla Max. So for Team 1 side of things, they have 4 Cybrans and 1 Seraphim. That's it. No UEF, no Aeon, just 4 Cybrans. So for those who love the Spiky Space Socialist faction, you will be delighted this day, morning, night, evening, whatever period time of day. And before we see any of that action that we're going to miss, let's make sure we just slow it down just a little bit so we can finish introducing the other players. We'll start up here on the northern side of Team 2's lineup. It is in Ruby Red, Touch My Omen. He is going first land as a Seraphim, and he is a 1500. To his south in Chevy Crimson, it is Cocky going first land as the first UEF player of the game. Love to see that. He is a 1200. And again, he is in Chevy Crimson as a UEF. In Snow White, we have the player of Khalsa going first and second land. He is a 1400, and again, he is in Snow White as a Cybran. And in not Imperial Gray, in Batman Gray, we have the player of Adas Jeknasoik. I'm going to call him ADAS for short. Going first land, and as I said, he is a Cybran. He is 1100. And again, he is in Batman Gray. And last but not least, for Team 2 in the southernmost section of the map, it is the player of Hank, the Wank Tank, making another appearance since his last video of the Star-Crossed Lovers. He is going first land, probably second and third land, most likely. Maybe he'll go second air, maybe? He is kind of in a corner, so maybe we'll see him go air as well. He is a 1400. He is in lightish red-pink. And again, he is a Cybran starting to move his way to the middle of the map. So for Team 2 side of things, they have 3 Cybran, not 4 Cybran like Team 1. But they do have a UEF to replace that 4 Cybran and a Seraphim. I apologize to those who are loyal to the princess. There are no Aeon in this game. And there are 7 out of the 10 players are Cybrans. So again, getting a nice, huge dose of the Cybran faction in this game. Let's take a look at the reclaim here. It is currently at 38,000 mass to scoop up. And for 10 players evenly, that is 3.8 thousand mass. Let's say, make it little fancy dancy numbers and round it up to 4K. So almost 4K per player. That is a hefty chunk of reclaim, especially early on in this game. Let's go ahead and set this back to 0 and take a look at the mass point layouts. There are a decent amount of groups of 4 on the front line. There's at least 4 for one team, and there's a tri-set of mexes. There's 1 here. It's kind of 2. It's not as close as I would have liked it to be. Looks like there is some in the corner and in the rear. So our players do have a decent amount of mass points to scoop up, but a lot of them do reside on Team 1 and Team 2's respective sides. Nothing really in the middle to contest against. We have a tiny little Selene out to get a nice little readout on what his opponent is doing to the north. Of course, this is by Touch My Omen, and there are some Mantas nearby. The Selene goes, it's probably not a good idea, and starts to retreat back to home base. Column of Tesla Max is moving to the middle of the map. There are 2 small ponds, one in the north and one in the south. honestly, I don't think there's going to be a lot of action here with the water. I say that, and then watch there's going to be, someone's going to build T3 battleships, the Seraphim, and just use the the nukes for some reason. Somebody's going to use it for something. The best thing would probably be the Cybern's using them for T2 Salem destroyers to walk on the land. I can see that at the most, but we'll have to check it out as time goes on. Tesla Max has crossed the middle of the map and is now invading Team 2's side of the map. We have a tiny little jester out trying to go after probably some engineers. Unfortunately, there's nothing to defend this northern section, so Team 2 is vulnerable. Touch My Omen has to deal with that jester. The advantage for the Cybern faction is they get T1 gunships. They're the only ones to get T1 gunships, I might add. We do have Hank the Wink Tank pushing forward for this group of Mexes, and then after that, it's going to keep pushing westward. It is looking like it is kind of a 3v2 scenario here on the southern portion of the map. On another northern portion, it's like 2v2. Does look like the green player on Team 1, Loopy, is just hanging back, ecoing up. That Jester has killed off one Mex. We'll kill off the other two here pretty shortly. And that is really about it for now. Don't see any AA on its way to help assist. And really, we don't see a lot of movement to the west here for Team 1. We do see a couple of invading units down the south here for Hank the Wink Tank, securing this group of Mexes, which should be in Team 1's hands, but it is not currently. Team 2 a little bit slow on the roll here. Akpak needs to speed things up. He is the highest rated player by a large margin of 500 rating points. So he should know to get out early and make sure to deny that early expansion for his opponent. But maybe he's just having an off day. We all got to have our off days, So apologies to Akpak if he is just feeling a little sluggish. Or maybe it's just 2 a.m. and it's just he's been playing for hours and he just can't think straight. Some players do that. It amazes me that some people can play this game at 2 o'clock in the morning and still be sane afterwards. Or maybe they just haven't been sane to begin with. I don't know. Those players will have to let me know down in the comments. But speaking of movement and sanity, we have units in the north. My mouse is freaking out for a second. What is... There it goes. It was messing with its... For some reason, its scroll wheel was being very weird. Anyway, we see units in the north and the south for Team 2 starting to push westward. We have engagement in the middle of the map. No com-on-com action as of yet, but that might change here pretty soon with Tesla Max and Cocky moving forward to the west. Thams and Thams are actually these are strikers. These are not Thams. Apologies. The only UEA player in the game fighting off the only Cybern player for Team 1. Cocky trying to push forward, get some veterancy on that commander. Of course, he's at 12,000 hit points on that commander versus 11.5k for the Seraphim variety. Until they get a star of veterancy, it is a little bit of a discrepancy, but it's not as bad as the Cyberns at only 10k hit points on their commanders. In terms of air, I don't see any movement so far into T2 for Team 1, at least on the northern side of things. It does look like T2 upgrade has been started for Loopy. That really is about it. And in terms of Team 2's, I already see a T2 upgrade here on the way for ADAS. Again, that's a long name. I do not know how to pronounce that. I don't even know what language that is, so apologies to that player for not knowing how to pronounce your name. I just did no idea. Cocky going very cocky here in the front line for Team 2, and he's securing a couple of mechs. He's trying to get some nice, juicy mass out of this situation. Tesla Max is having none of it, is going to force his way into this position. A lot of the units here for Cocky are out of position pushing westward, but he didn't expect the calm of Tesla Max. The first calm-on-calm action of the game at 8 and 11 seconds in this game. Tesla Max and Cocky having some disagreements about who should have those mass points. We even have units coming in from the south here from Team 1's player of Mr. Female Dog, and he is really just spreading his units out quite widely, not congregating them at all. Tesla Max is currently being walked down by Cocky. Is this going to be a murder-suicide situation? Currently, it is 9,000. Let's just say 9,000 hit points versus 6,000. Cocky does have a little bit more hit points to be able to survive that explosion once Tesla Max does get killed off, if he does get killed off. And that looks like it's going to change all the time. But T1 bombers incoming from Mr. Female Dog to help assist take out The player of Cocky and Tesla Mechs still firing into one another. Shots are not stopping. Cocky now at 6,000 hit points. Tesla Mechs now in the red at 25 hit points and is dropping below 1,500. This could be the first departure of the game. Sub 10 minutes. Cocky doesn't care. He's going to go for the kill here. Sub 500, 200, 100. Where it goes. Cocky survives at 25 hit points left standing with a rank and veterancy. But he is surrounded. Units coming in all the time from all sides. That calm, it is a murder-suicide situation. There he goes below 1,000, and he's gone. So a 1,200 traded for a 1,300. Not that much of a trade, but now it drops both of our teams to a 4v4 game. Let me know down in the comments if that was a smart or a dumb move by Cocky for going for that play. We'll have to see how time goes on, but I feel like it's going to be a toss-up. But this early on, the rankings are very similar between the players. Team 2's Hank the Wing Tank inherits the base of Cocky. Team 1's player of Mr. Female. Actually, no. Those look like Crixion inherits that base. So going to pump out that upgrade for, at least I would hope for T3 here pretty soon. Actually going T2 land and might be going T2 Navy. Yep, gonna go up to T2. Gonna do that destroyer move that I mentioned earlier. Units here in the north for Touch My Omen holding position for now, not pushing that advantage. Team 1 will be able to scoop up whatever reclaim remains from both of those explosions. Not really a whole lot. Units coming in from Mr. Female Dog, just annoying this front line for Team 2's player of Hank the Wing Tank, but it's gonna be sandwiched between him and Touch My Omen here very quickly. We do have, of course, units to the south from Crixion, which were, of course, Tesla Max. Actually, those aren't... Well, no, wait, no. Tesla... apologies. Crixion does not inherit this base. Okpuk inherits this base. Apologies. So those resources get handed off to the highest rated player on Team 1. That's kind of what I thought would happen. To be fair, just put the hands in the most put the resources in the hands of the most experienced players. But those units coming in from Mr. Female Dog, actually, again, I keep thinking that's him. That is not him. That's Crixion. Mr. Female Dog's up here. Apologies for the switcheroo here. The orange and the rust are very similar colors, I might add. We have Crixion being attacked by some Mantis here by Glossa. He is pushing forward, trying to establish some dominance here in the middle of the map. Units coming in, taking out some forward radar positions, trying to just distract Team 1 at this point. Looks like there is an upgrade for ADAS going for stealth. He has his gun upgrade now. Crixion has no upgrade and is halfway to 1 veterancy. Those units for both teams starting to fade, but it does look like Team 2's play of Colossa does get the better end of the deal here with a lot of those units still remaining, but all that gives is Crixion's more targets to get his veterancy up and running. Team 2's play of Hank the Wing Tank kind of just sitting back, wanting to just wanting to protect his base down south against the play of Okpuk. Okpuk has T3 Titans. Actually, these are Loyalists, apologies. Loyalists on the field here for his team. Now, Team 1 does not have UEF, so they would not have Titans. Unless they stole an Engineer, which I don't think I've seen in FAF yet since I started casting. Like, stealing units doesn't happen. I've seen capturing, like, civilian units and structures, but no capturing enemy units. Haven't seen that as of yet. That feature is like not, it's only useful in the campaign, really. Not really useful in multiplayer. I do understand the reason for it. It's just I think if the speeds I think were better, I think a lot more players would use it. But these T1 units are being overran by T3 Loyalists, and they're going to keep pushing eastward into main production facilities, mass infrastructure, anything they can get their hands on. We have units splitting and then merging back together here in the middle for Hank the Wing Tank, trying to assist in this middle section of the map, covering for his player of Colossa. We also have, of course, he is commanding the middle as well, who he's taking the south and the middle. He's pushing a serious degree westward, and that naval base is online, but is severely damaged. There is one destroyer online. That is not going to last very long, unfortunately, here for Team 1's player of Mr. Female Dog. He has some defenses in the way of rhinos, but not that many. And Team 1's player of Touch My Omen exerting his dominance on his northern side of the map. We are at 14 minutes in this game. It is a 4v4 still. No one has died. Transport gets taken out. I think there was an engineer or two on board. Sadly here, those engineers do not make it home to their families. And those loyalists to the south just being very, very annoying here for Team 2. Taking out anything and everything they can. I think these were T2 mixes. No, those were this was T2. This was T1. I hear missile launches here in the south coming in from Okpuk. Just, again, annoying Team 2. That is the goal here for Team 1, at least for Okpuk. Taking out mass, taking out anything to get their hands on. T2 Renegades, not really going to do anything if they're not next to the Loyalists to attack them. And I had this comment. I want to see if anybody knows this answer. Can you redirect, not deflect, but redirect a Billy Nuke missile with a Loyalist? Because the Loyalist does have the tactical missile deflection. I guess it is deflection. I wonder if you can do that, because I know the tactical nuke, the Billy Nuke, as it is colloquially known, of course, takes multiple shots from a TMD to be shot down. Is that the same case with a Loyalist? Because it is, I guess, technically still a tactical missile, so technically... But let me know down in the comments if anybody of you know. It was a very interesting comment, and I didn't have the answer because I've never seen that in particular. Let me know down in the comments, of course, if you have seen that before. And if you could provide the replay for it as well, that would be awesome. And I'd have a little, like, maybe I'd do a little series of, like, the weird things that have happened in FAF kind of thing. It'd be a really interesting video, though, like the 0.001% chance happenings. Like a Colossus grabbing a transport with a comm attached to it and killing a comm that way. That was a very, very interesting game as well. And this one little T2 Renegade trying to do his best to take out this group of Loyalists. But look at the wake that they have left. 4 mechs is down, another mech's down. These mechs are going to go down. More Renegades coming in to deal with this, distracting Team 2's air player from building ASFs. Great move by Okpuk, and is conquering the southern section of the map. Team 2 has to further retreat, reinforce, regroup, allowing Team 1 to get some foothold in the middle and at least recover territory in the north, but they've lost, or the middle north, but they have lost the T2 naval facility, and this last destroyer is going to be killed off by Yenzi, and there it goes. Does get a final kill in its death. But that investment by Team 1's Mr. Female Dog does get shot down. A couple of strikers here for Hank the Wing Tank. I don't know how they got there. Transport, maybe? Is there a dead thing? No, not really. Maybe we could have gone west and then east, maybe. Air says Hank the Wing Tank. Oh, yeah, talking the Loyalists once again. There's only 2 more remaining. They didn't go north. They went south instead, going after Hank's infrastructure. I don't think they'll get a lot of work done with that amount of Renegades on station. And they're going to be chewed up to shreds, especially with one of them that have very low hit points. Even just T1 Skyhooks just roaming the map here. Stealth on the way here for Hank the Wing Tank. He does have the gun. Stealth and gun here for ADAS or ADAS, or I don't know how to pronounce that name. Stealth and gun here for Colossa and Aquin. Those are the 3 Cybran commanders online for Team 2, all in the southern section of the map. The northern section has UEF and Seraphim units, and the commander's still online. Actually, the UEF commander's dead, so it's just the Seraphim commander. But all these strikers are able to deal with this incoming threat, and we even have reinforcements coming in to help cement that front line. Why ACU and base says Okpuk for Mr. Female Dog? I mean, he's not focusing on T3 air. He should be. He has a great position to do so, considering now he has this Yenzian problem to deal with that is on its way. Of course, Yenzian hover tanks or any other hover tanks have a weaker DPS than their regular land-based variety, or brethren, I should say. We have T2, T1. Actually, this is just T1. T1 Jesters on the station here, and also units all the way south from the player of Okpuk coming in to assist his teammate, and he is really just getting a nice berth. He does have that base, of course, up north, but he is really going back and forth. I would have liked to see either the player of Mr. Female Dog or maybe even... Oh, no, Loopy's focused on air, so maybe not him. But Correction take this space. I do understand giving the eco to the highest rated player, but at the same time, it's harder to manage because you keep flip-flopping back and forth. At least here with Hank the Wing Tank, it's not that far, and he can just, route everything to one location anyways. Right here versus the entire length of the map. If I didn't mention, this is a 20 by 20 full, so it is a lot of room for our players to use and be able to explore. I'm not really that much exploring, more just utilize. We are closing in on that 20 minutes so far. 2 players have died so far. Will there be a third? I mean, if anything, Okpuk is pushing very far forward. Team 2 may have an opportunity on the cards to snipe him. He is sitting right next to the water and is sitting in front of Banger's T2 air, or AA, anti-air. So it does provide him a nice cushion. Would like to see... I don't know. I would like to see some other units. Does have some bricks. Does have some... Actually, has a lot of units. Has some interceptors back here for defense. And even has some more AA coming in to assist him. Team 2's Hank the Wing Tank is severely outclassed and outmanned and outgunned and out everything. And he will be forced to retreat once again. He is pushing in the north against Crixian, so he's doing a great job just assaulting his, not mirror, but his newfound mirror in the middle. Units for Classa coming in to support. They need to push forward more and take out more units on that front line. The forces coming in from Hank the Wing Tank need to stop coming in columns and start coming in rows to help maximize the DPS on those units. This is just sending him single fire, allowing the units for Team 1 to last a lot longer and focus fire a lot better. There are some loyalists in the mix with those EMP weapons that they have on board to help disrupt enemy fire, but those only last for a few seconds. And of course they are only useful because you have to die to use them. Oh no, I think they have they do work on shot, I think, right? Is it looks like they're stun locking this yeah, it looks like they are stun locking that rhino. So they do fire on when they're alive, so that's not as bad. But the explosive death does assist in assaulting enemy positions. And units, of course, these more loyalists coming in, just wrecking this front line. We have a hydrocarbon going down. 20 minutes has been reached in this game. T3 for Crixian is underway. We get some more hit point survival on that commander. But the comm of Hank the Wing Tank receiving some fire from nearby bricks. That is not the best feeling to feel. At least they're not Percy's with their high alpha strike damage. But Okpuk is pushing forward. Looks like it's going to be a 1v1 with assisting support for both teams. No, maybe, possibly. They're kind of just thinking about it. We'll get back to them here in a minute. I want to check the northern side here just a second to see what's there. Nothing's going on. We have a couple of engineers in the water scooping up reclaim, but that's it. Nothing's really going on in the north. 2 players have diverted land. Actually, 3, well, 2-ish have diverted land forces for this northern section. We have touched my Omen hanging out in the water, enjoying a nice soak. It has T3 land and T3 air. Isn't really worried about a whole lot. And is pumping out some ASFs. Even has a chicken online. That'll be a nice advantage, whether he's using it for defense or attack. We have Crixian building some defenses. Loyalists gearing up for maybe a push. Still more units funneling in. Not, again, the best movement. They need to be in formation, not in... Well, they need to be in row formation instead of line formation. Because as you can see, when they just line up like this, it is not doing a lot of damage to nearby units because they die essentially before they can really do a lot of damage. So, and not the best situation to be in for those strikers. And I think there's some Lobos. There's some Lobos in there as well. Down here in the south, Hank the Wing Tank, perfectly fine. Okpuk, perfectly fine. Both have 2 ranks of veterancy, but one has nano, so 90 hit points a second, giving Hank the Wing Tank the advantage in that regard. But we have Okpuk with a severe number of missiles, T2 AA, and of course this horde of bricks, or as I like to call them, a brick wall. We do have some loyalists coming in to assist as well. And 1 overcharge kills 1 outright. Hank the Wing Tank pushing forward all the time. Another one takes out another one, starting to reduce those numbers here. Okpuk isn't in the best situation here. I would love to see some... Oh, there's some T2 Renegades. Here we go. Send them into Okpuk. Either or at least help assist dealing with those bricks. I know there's a lot of bangers nearby. I assume after the loyalists have dealt with these bricks. And they're being EMP'd as well. The units, these loyalists, when they die, they're very close to these bricks. Really assisting this... engagement here, and because it should have gone to the bricks for the most part, but with the assistance, of course, of Hank the Wing Tank eliminating some early units, and with those EMP weapons, Team 2 does come out ahead in that regard. But they still have the missiles to contend with. They still have the comm to deal with, and of course the T2AA to deal with. Team 2 has made a nice little bubble, nice little growth here on Team 1 side of things, pushing in, trying to claim this set of 2 quad mechs positions. And these T3 units will be able to secure that position quite well for Team 2. In the north, not so much. Some more work has to be done, but a nice grouping of T2 PD. Geez, how many is that here in the middle? Just 14. Just, you know, nice little bubble in the middle. Nice little grouping. We have some mexes, not mexes, we have some PD lining the front lines. And we have units coming in here from the player of Mr. Female Dog. But at the same time, we have Othems guiding a chicken in for some nasty, nasty fighting. We do have Othems redirecting to deal with this, but Oddpuck has control Cade. Hold on. We always look at, whenever comm leaves, we always look at, I leave, says Oddpuck, GG, nice air. Oh, he might have had a connection issue. Seems to be the case. They're not talking about it in chat. It always sucks to see a comm, regardless of rating, regardless of situation, it always sucks to watch a comm leave because of something that happened either in the real world or the connection, whatever the case may be. Hopefully it's not because he just didn't like the situation he was in. That always sucks to see, but if it's an outside world thing, that, you know, we do always cut him some slack. We have that chicken has cleared the front lines. T3 headquarters is down. Mr. Female Dog does not have access to T3 Cybern technology, but does have access now to T3 Seraphim technology from his teammate of not Mr. Female Dog, but Outpuck here in the south. And now it is a 4v3 in favor of Team 2. It is only Cyberns here for Team 1, and it is Cyberns and a Seraphim remaining here for Team 2 here at 25 minutes. Let me know at the current moment, who do you think is going to win? I can't say one way or the other. More resources in the hands of fewer players always is beneficial, but of course having more APM is also beneficial. And in terms of ecos, we haven't really checked it out. Team 1 leading up. Oh, it's not really. 1.2 to 1.1 isn't that much of a difference, but 100,000 mass more is a considerable amount of difference here at 25 minutes. So again, let me know down in the comments who you think is going to win. Like the video, and of course, hit that sub button if you haven't already done so already. Oh, that was a very fast zoom. Apologies for that. We have Hank the Wing Tank pushing those front lines once again, trying to go after these Vipers. Vipers being very annoying, taking out some of these T1 spam units here for him. We even see some these strikers and UEF forces as well. Love to see mixing of technology, of course. You have the UEF shields and the Cybern and Cybern and UEF assault bots, those Percies and bricks. Oh man, that's just a deadly combo. And that chicken did make it almost into that main base, almost taking out a monkey here for Mr. Female Dog. We did see a monkey fall earlier on for Team 1 by some gunships. And that horde of gunships is getting bigger and bigger for Team 2. His air crew getting nice and plump. Transfer of control of middle units has been given over to Crixian, so he's going to manage the middle and the south. It looks like Mr. Female Dog going to concern himself with the north, and of course we have Loopy with the air. But Touch My Omen has pretty much secured his northern section of the map. He has control of both the west and the east side of the little pond here. Maybe we'll see some destroyers. He is Seraphim, so probably not. I would love to see it, but probably not. It only lasted a couple minutes here for Team 1. Down in the south, Team 2 almost has full control of their southern island, southern section as well, for that water. We do see a couple of pockets of water on the east and western sides of the map for some nice, calm hiding. Doesn't always work out in the end, of course, because somebody always finds it, but of course, earlier on is always nice to have. In terms of Team 1's plans, it is 26 minutes. They are building a crab in the north for Mr. Female Dog. In the rear, we have another crab being built by Loopy, so 2 crabs potentially at the same time. SMD being built here for Crixian and being loaded as we speak. Are we going to see a nuke here soon? I would kind of be surprised if Team 1 doesn't have some sort of plan to end. You know, they're down a player. They're down their highest rated player as well by a decent amount, of course. Now the highest rated player in the game alive still is Touch My Omen with Hank the Wing Tank below him and Kalsa as well. So Team 1 had the advantage with the higher rated commander. And Team 2 has the advantage, which of course, just with more players. Team 1 really needs to get something in gear here. They need to get something loaded up and running sooner rather than later. We have some of these T1 jesters doing what they can to take out some PD, and they've done it, starting to do a decent chunk of work, though. I would love to see some flak in the mix to protect this, but they're sending a couple of just very, not a lot of mass heavy units, just kind of going and being just kind of poking and prodding, death by 1,000 cuts kind of strategy. Very passively killing stuff off. Love that play here from Crixion. Not something you really have to micro. If they die, you can just build another squadron of them and send them out again. Not really like you're having T3 whalers or broadswords just on the field constantly. There is a group here to the north that could be used, and those do get pinged by their teammates to be like, hey, you should move those and use those because they're there. And we can see, of course, that spread of spam. It's splitting around. I love this split. One's going south and one's going north. And it's going around this little mountain here. Nice little conga line going on. Of course, when they go in single fire, it's harder for all of them to fire at the same time. You don't want to give your opponent time to build defenses. It's kind of a chicken and the egg. Like, you don't want to send them all in at the same time because you want to prevent units and structures from being built. At the same time, if you do send them in one at a time, they get killed off very quickly. So it is kind of a catch-22. We have, again, a strategy here in the south by Team 2's Hank using what Team 1's Okpuk did, just sending in a squad of bricks with a couple of supporting units going after some infrastructure, some nice mexes to take out. And Team 1 is starting to suffer here in the southern section, as we mentioned earlier with the departure of Okpuk. Even though he left either because he was just tired or whatever the case may be, losing a player like that, that early in the game is just very, not detrimental in total, but it definitely hurts. And you can see that amount that's being hurt. I do not like the fact that this thing is still online somehow when you have multiple units that ran by a bunch of engineers. Oh, please reclaim it. Oh, no, please capture it. That'd be amazing. Please capture. Please capture. That'd be great. Just, oh, is he going to do it? I think he's going to do it. Going to capture it? Are you going to capture it? Haha, he's doing it. He's doing the capture. Woohoo! He's doing the capture of enemy structures. Isn't a unit, but at least it's something. That is awesome. I love seeing that. Made a comment about that earlier. That's amazing. We have a chicken roaming the northern side of Team 2's front line. Lots of ASF for Team 1's play of Loopy. Nice amount of units. We have, of course, the Air Force. Does look like very comparable between both players. But, of course, we have a squadron of T3 whalers here for 8S as well. We are seeing other players get into the air as well, both for Team 1 and Team 2. And a squadron of whalers here for Loopy as well. So it's essentially pretty even here. I don't think this is getting anywhere here for Hank the Wank Tank. I like the ambition. I love the spam. But it's not really going anywhere. It's just, 3 mass per second per all of these facilities online. All of that mass could be used to build other units that are more effective, like Percy's or Parashields or even Titans, something like that. We do see that group of bricks more and more here for Team 2's player of Khalsa, just trying to do what he can to push forward in. Doesn't have any AA. Because of that, these whalers can come in and deal with this very quickly, and they're targeting the weakest unit first, and then going after everything else. ASF might be called in, but this might be a trap here set by Team 1. There are some bricks and bouncers. I want to say bangers for T3. I don't know why. The bouncers here to the north. ASF are going to come in for 2 players on Team 1, and all those whalers will be taken out, but at what cost? They might gain air because of this. That is a lot of air forces, and they are inbound. Team 1 is going to gain air control at 31 minutes and 20 seconds. And but the ASF for Team 2 do get away. Oh, that's got to hurt. They took out all of the gunships, and they couldn't. They do have more ASFs, to be fair, but they won't have, dominance / control. It's more like it's in favor rather than control is the word that I would use. But that number is getting bigger and bigger here for Team 1. But the gunships for Team 2 is getting bigger and bigger. Still, I would like to see some some broadswords in the mix, because they are very effective at ground units. But air units are the problem. And since there's no Aeon units, no one can build restorers. So that's a thing. But the invasion of the pink to the west is starting to occur here. And look at this push. This is just starting to leak everywhere. For some reason, when I zoom out, that pink color gets kind of Barbie pink instead of lightish red pink. And it's just a conglomeration. No, it is lightish red, right? No. I mean, it looks lightish red up here. There's only one pink player on Team 2, and they look like two different colors. Maybe I'm just insane. Anyway, I could just be, I could have subcom brain on the... it is Friday. I'm a little tired. Maybe that's what it is. But we have whalers inbound to take out this not chicken. Sorry. There we go. There I go. Taking out this monkey, and that monkey is going to be ripped to shreds. Look at those hit points in the bottom left-hand corner. Look at him. They had a hit of a star of veterancy, and there he goes. He is dead. Doesn't get to use that very often. I didn't get to use that star for very long. There we go. And those whalers might just push southward, but those ASFs are lurking. Team 2 has to be aware of that if they don't want to risk giving over control to Team 1. Of course, we have 2 crabs and a monkey charging this north middle section. We have, of course, 1 chicken in tow. That is it. Team 2 does have a nuke launcher. It is not loaded. That is in danger of being destroyed. There's another monkey on the loose, calling back to yesterday's video. You got to tame your monkeys, because if you don't keep them nice and fed and under control, they can do stuff like this and just rampage your base. There goes mass here for the player of Hank the Wank Tank. We have another monkey in the water here hanging out. Chickens trying to do what they can to hold off these T3 Othems, but the crabs are pushing southward. Those look like one might turn north. They should turn around and engage the chicken at range, but those Othems are starting to be a threat here. You want to keep moving south. It is, again, a lot of map to move around, so it takes a while to move, especially for the slower units. We have the Zooey spam, the dreaded Zooey spam by the Seraphim player here. Actually, well, he has access to Seraphim tech, so not necessarily Seraphim player, just Seraphim holding tech player of Mr. Female Dog here on the water, saying, I'm kind of getting annoyed of going around, so I'm just going to go over that pond there. The monkey can go in it. I'm just going to go over it and call it good. We need some T2, T1 bomber spam here for Touch My Omen to deal with these experimentals and units coming across the map here. Here's a nice fire base up here, but that is being completely avoided by Team 1, not wanting to engage that. Taking out the monkey first. Lots of whalers in this mix, of course. That is actually a lot of whalers. 46, a little under 50. That is a lot of firepower. And now they're going to go after the crabs. The crabs, I don't think have any AA. No, they don't have any AA. Oh, they do have AA. Oh, I don't see it firing. Oh, it is firing. It's just not doing a lot of damage. I would like to see both sets, all sets of whalers, or all whalers go after one target, not splitting them up between 2 of them, or at least targeting the one that's closer to the front line. See, this one could have already been dead. But the ASFs are engaging those whalers here for Team 1, and they swing back to engage the ASFs for Team 2. Both the crabs will go down, though, and Team 1 will gain air control. The whalers trying to get out of dodge, though. It's not really working. Oh, it's kind of working. Of course, the AA not as impressive on these as on those restorers, and there go the whalers falling out of the sky by the 10s, by the 1s, and by the 10th place. Couldn't think of a good way to describe, because 10s sound like 10s, so it's like I had to make that. Anyway, there's a joke in there. Anyway, I think I lost the thread there. But look at the amounts of control that Team 2 has. They own more than 50% of the map, even close to probably, I'd say, 65%. Team 1 is pumping out a lot of experimentals, though, which is, mass for Team 2 if they can get a hold of it, but a lot of investment for Team 1. I would like to see more investment in longer-lasting things like nukes and artillery and game enders. And you don't have UEF, so you can't do well, no, you don't have satellites. You can't do those. YOLOs. Something. But sending in monkey after monkey, I get it. You want to just pummel your opponent, but with all these bricks, even if you kill half of them, you're going to lose a monkey, which isn't Really? Well, I don't know if it's worth it one way or the other. I haven't done the mass totals. I actually can do the mass totals right now. We have, let's just zoom in this section. So 60,000 mass in units here for Team 2's Play F Classa. And of course, for Crixian, we have 20,000 and an additional, let's say, 33. So it's, Team 2 still has a little bit more mass in their units than Team 1. And that number is essentially staying a little bit the same, but that crab is going to really tip the scales in Colossus' favor. 37,000 mass just for that unit itself. Essentially adding 50% more mass in total for Team 2's Play of Colossus front line. And you can see that's going to rip through those bricks very quickly. 3,000 hit points per double shot, because each shot takes or has 1,500 damage on it. I think that's the word I want. Yeah, that's the word I want to use. But running straight into that crab isn't going to do you any favors. You could have attacked it at range, but Team 2 launches the first nuke at the game at 37 minutes, almost on the dot. Where is it going? And it's going for that air base. Actually, that base, not really an air base, more of a land base here for Team 1. They have their own nuke launcher, so that's nice. But do you have an SMD? No. Oh, no. You do, and it is loaded, so, there is that. More monkeys here to the north. If the crabs weren't evidence enough, they are being scooped up as we speak. We have engineers being flown by the player of ADAS to get some more mass to build his air grid. Is you're building anything else, sir? You should build some RASCOMs or something, or, mass FAF farms, something to scale your eco up a lot faster. Or, once you upgrade all your T3 mexes, you're like, now what? Build mass FAFs, build RASCOMs, take over another base, stuff like that. That nuke, of course, does not land due to that SMD. But that nuke for Team 1 is halfway done. The nuke for Team 2 is a fourth of the way done, a fifth of the way done. I think it's loading a little bit faster. It's kind of hard to tell. It's about the same, if not a little bit faster than Team 1's, but Team 1's will be ready than Team 2's. That SMD will be loaded in time if it chooses to launch at that location. SMD, says Mr. Female Dog. No, there isn't one there. That would be a nice spot. There's a nice, group of T3 facilities producing Othems. That's a lot of Othems, and of course they have torpedoes, but doesn't affect any units that hover, which is very annoying here for Touch My Omen here to the north. Team 2, the southern player of Hank, kind of hanging out, but is being assaulted by some monkeys, but the DPS on those things aren't super great for the torpedoes. And this monkey is almost going to die due to brick torpedoes. So that's fun. We have some lasers popping out of the water to take out some of those engineers on the surface. But one monkey will be taken out by some Cerberus. Nope, looks like the bricks are going to... No, the Cerberus are focusing the closer one. The bricks are focusing the further one away. That first one is down. The second one will fall pretty soon while those units encircle it. Again, Team 1 needs to be very cautious of how many units they throw at their opponent, because that just gives Team 2 more mass. And the totals are now favoring Team 2 with the reclaim, still favoring, actually severely favoring Team 2 at almost a 3-2 advantage. We are close into the 40-minute mark here for Team 1 and Team 2. It's only now just for Team 1. I don't know what I was going with that. We have some chickens going to emerge the water here in the north. And Team 1 needs to be aware of this. Their heads are just barely sticking out of the water there. And the guns fire off. We have a lot of defenses that are just going to be wiped out fairly easily. We have some bangers trying to fire what they can, but that's not going to do a whole lot. And the absolute horde, the horde of Othems to the north. The player of Touch My Omen decides, okay, well, I'll send, how many do you want? I'll send all of them. And a couple of lightning tanks in there for good measure, but just the Othems, man. Just the actually, these are the group of lightning tanks. These are the Othems. Get a nice shot of these coming into frame. And there goes a nuke. It's probably Team 1's. Yep, you can actually see the missile in the corner of the screen there. I wonder what it's going to go for. I don't know. Let's see, getting a nice little look at the Othems. There we go. And they are inbound. Are they going for the chickens? Are they going for the base? Are they going? Oh, nope. It's going to land right here. Again, good placement. You have chicken producing facility. That nuke from Team 2 will launch. Will it launch at the same location it did? No, it will not. It's going to go for this position. The SMD is loaded. Frixian will be fine. No issues there. Was the SMD loaded up here? No. Yes, it was. So that wouldn't have worked anyways. So neither nuke is going to be effective for Team 2, but Team 1's nuke will land. Deal some economic damage and infrastructure damage, of course. Those chickens are pushing in more and more. 2 chickens versus 2 crabs. 2 monkeys. I will favor the chickens all day if it is a full health 1-to-1 scenario, 2-to-2 scenario. You can obviously see those monkeys very failing in their efforts to hold off from that combined firepower of 2 chickens. And Othems on this field as well. Look at those hit points. Lightning tanks assisting as well. They can target ground units. And there it goes. A second monkey falls. Team 1 is losing defenses. They have a third one on its way, but again, still a 2v1. Even with a severely damaged chicken, really only goes one way. Team 1's air player of Loopy needs to get assistance in this game before his complete and a total annihilation in the north of his teammate of Mr. Female Dog. And that chicken will retreat. The chicken here for Team 1. The second one, the southern one, will assist. The monkey trying to chase it down. Again, you have Othem firing constantly. Shots in the chicken firing constantly. We have eco going down. Front lines going down. Infrastructure going down. We have some shields trying to be built. They're trying to build a 4th Monkey Lord, and is almost going to be finished. All those lightning tanks just in position to take out the air for Team 1. Look at all those air units being eradicated by those lightning fire again. Do it again. You won't. Fire. Go north a little bit. Go north a little bit. No, oh, never mind. That crab is now in range. Those units going to die. The chicken, its main thing should be to just charge all the way in. It doesn't matter. The second chicken can come in and do the rest. Charge that sucker in. Get some AoE damage from the lightning tanks, especially not lightning tanks, the ion storm, especially with the crab to the south, dealing lots of hit points. Are they going to kill the chicken? Yes, they did. Chicken. Gosh dang it. Monkey. They're going to kill the monkey before the chicken dies. And those Othems are just forming that line that we mentioned earlier. They need to group up a little bit more and form more of a vertical line versus a horizontal line on our screens. But it is still working. Those units are getting in. There's not really a lot of defenses in the rear. That nuke launcher is going to die, unfortunately, for Team 1's player of Mr. Female Dog. His comm is in the water back here, building a Scathus, getting into that game ender side of things for this game. We have some mass fabs going down. We have volatile explosions. We even have a T3 Seraphim P-Gen, because why not? There goes that explosion, taking out a bunch of structures there. Othems going after another set. They're getting into the rear here. Nice set of explosions here. Will be very nice for Team 2 to take out and crush the eco for Team 1's player of Mr. Female Dog. Of course, that pressure to the south is mounting here with Percy's pushing that front line just like the Othems are to the north. And it's not looking good here for Team 1's front lines in any regard, whether they be on the north side, the south side, or the middle. Well, the south side's not as bad. Middle and the north are really the bad situations here. Did I see artillery being fired? I do see artillery being fired. It's actually being fired from this position here by Team 1, by Crixian. But we have Mr. Female Dog essentially out of the running in this game. There goes that explosion cascading around, taking out all that mass. Mr. Female Dog is only at 250 mass a second, which are like, that's a lot of mass. And I'm like, well, when we're talking about mass, and Hank's at 1.1, and Touchpoint Omen's at 700, and Crixian's at 800, it's not really a lot of mass. Pigeon's going down. How is the energy? He is stalling energy. He's not looking good here. It's not looking good here for Mr. Female Dog in the north. And now that crab is being surrounded by Othems coming in from Team 1's player of Mr. Female Dog. Oh, he does have this position still, so he's not completely out of it. But he's lost that his entire original base. Does have a couple of T3 mechs still online, but really been dealt a severe blow, and now they have to fend off against this push in the middle. It is not looking good here for Team 1 on this western side. Is the game going the way you thought it was? Let me know down in the comments. We have one artillery. Team 1 saving grace, of course, is the crab production facility that's being built, and the Scathus facility production, which is only being built by these hives by Team 1. But the nuke will launch. And where is this one going? Going for this position. Will it hit that? It might hit the ring. No. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. I don't think it'll hit it, but we'll see. There isn't an SMD to protect the... What's down here? It's just a Rascom production facility here for Crixian. Going to scale his eco quite nicely. Of course, that second disruptor is almost online. Those units here for Team 2 are very close at hand. I would like to see the crab start to pop out some of his, at least AA or, maybe some bricks or something to help assist on that front line. And there it goes. The prettiest nuke in the game is going to land here for the first time in this game at 45 minutes in the game. Kaboom! Takes out everything except the PGen in this base. And a Mechs. Took a little, singed a little bit, had its hairs, a nice little waxing. And that monkey did not make a smart choice. There he goes. He is dead. Maybe got like 2 or 3 kills in that Mechs, but were not smart choices this game. Does look like the rebuilding here is being handled by Loopy to try to scale his eco up because he's now focusing on building the Scathis. Well, he's from the hives of this position here. Of course, they've stopped producing crabs and are now producing the Scathis. That's essentially they're saving grace. Team 1's player of Mr. Female Dog has control of the experimentals to micro them a lot better so that Loopy can focus on other things. Of course, he has the air micro to deal with, and he has all the other things to deal with. And he's starting to be invaded here by Team 2's player of Hank the Wayne Tank. He is really just everywhere this game. Look at this. He's covering, essentially, I think, a fifth of the map just himself. He does have 2 bases, to be fair. But he is really covering the map. And what is this? Ooh. We have a cheeky little bomber squadron on the cards here for Hank. Wonder what he's going to go for. He's going to go up here, of course, and skate the edge where there's nothing up here. It'd be very interesting to see a nuke go after this. It isn't loaded. It was just built. Artillery is targeting the player of Loopy almost directly. And there's only 1 shield protecting him. Will they be given the order here pretty soon? Possibly, maybe. We have a large group of ASS protecting these whalers, trying to, take out all the fringe mexes that they can. Artillery here from Team 2's player of Khalsa. For some reason, I just completely blanked on how to pronounce her name. Going after the artillery, but that doesn't even matter because the bricks come in and kill it anyways. And nope, missed, but takes out the mass here for that disruptor. That's gotta hurt. All that juicy mass is gone. It is evaporated into the ether. No longer be able to be claimed by either team. Take out the Omni. Take out the Omni. It's right there. Do it. Crixion being targeted by some bricks. We have some come on, it only has 100 hit points. Come on. You can do this. Where are those strap bombers at? Where'd they go? There's some right there. Where are they? Oh, they were down here. Where are they going? The comm of Loopy does get killed off by Hank the Wayne Tank. It is now a 4v2. Those bombers are coming in. They're going for Loopy. Yep, they are inbound. I'm going to get... So hold on. I'm going to slow down a little bit. Let me select Hank. And let me do that. U-T. We'll go at this speed. Watch the bombers come in. Oh, I gotta take out. There we go. Now I can do the little zoom. You can see the comm in the distance. We see Percy's having a nice little vision going on down there. Scathis probably says, "Cocky." The bombs are dropping. There they go. They're impacting, and there goes the comm of Loopy. It's now a 4v1 in favor of Team 2. You can stop telling me I'm tracking, thank you, and tell me what everything else is going on. ASFs respond quite quickly, killing off all those rest of the the bombers that have survived the initial run. And now it's everything versus Mr. Female Dog, and he is in the water producing that Scathis still at 47 minutes, almost 48 minutes. He has to micro everything on this front line, and that front line has collapsed severely. He does have some saving grace with a lot of experimentals to the north, but Team 2 has a nuke. Team 2 has artillery. Team 2 has strat bombers. And I wouldn't be surprised if Team 2 has some sort of plan to end the game, or they'll just win with whatever they have. That that also works. Those look like the artillery was able to puncture the shields. Then they do have a Scathis, and it's almost done. Maybe they'll end the game with that. Mr. Female Dog trying to build his own, but it is building faster here for the player of ADAS here to the east. And now we have 2 artillery online here for Khalsa as well. That is not going to go very well here for Team 1 in the West. Drop bombers just flying over the map, going after whatever they can. Doesn't matter what it is, just kill it. It's essentially, we need 1,500 units cap. Is he capped that on units? No? No, he should have 1,000. I think it's 1,000 each. Well, 500, 3,700. Well, that would mean each player gets 500. I mean, okay, I can kind of see that. Oh, he's at 1,000. Oh, there it is. Let me select him and see if it'll give me the unit cap reach sound effect, but I think you already reached it earlier, so it doesn't matter. 500,000 reclaim. Yes, sir. That is a lot of reclaim here for your... Is it just you? No, your team has actually more than that. 700,000. But he's probably talking about what's currently on the map at 501. Half of a million mass on the field. 2 Paragons plus worth of mass. That is a lot of mass. And that player, Mr. Female Dog, I think I'm just going to have to speed this up just a little bit. We kind of know which direction this game is going. It is going to be just enclosing whatever is left. And unfortunately, the Ascathus is online for Team 2. That has got to hurt. There it is coming inbound. Scaling across the map, or flying across the map, or zooming across the map, or something across the map. This position is gonna die. That shields are not gonna hold very long under the firepower of that magnitude. We have, experimentals roaming the map on the north, trying to do what they can. The Scathus does get finished by Team 1's Mr. Female Dog, and it is going to fire at least a few salvos before it is destroyed, or maybe to stay online. But there it goes. Where is it firing? It needs to fire against the enemy Scathus if it has any hopes of staying alive. I don't know. Oh, it's going for Team 2's player of Hank the Wank Tank's position. And that isn't even shielded, so that is gonna hurt. Here it comes. It is inbound. Oh, it's very spread out, of course. Oh, it doesn't really take out. Oh, it takes out some mass storagers and stuff, but not a whole lot. Sheesh, brutal, says Hank. Of course, we have the combo. Mr. Female Dog is out of the water. I'll slow it back down to 0 so we don't miss any of that last minute action. I feel it. I feel the death is inbound. Scathus fire is raining in onto Mr. Female Dog. Will any of the ASFs get hit? No, they will not. He is still alive at full health at only 1,000 hit points. Non-upgraded commander, very rare at this stage in the game. Usually you have something on that commander, but in this case he wanted to go nude. Nothing on it, no veterancy, no nothing. Artillery still raining in. It is inbound. He is now hiding in the water, avoiding that artillery fire. I just saw some T2 torp bombers being built here by some... Oh, nope, there they are. And a nuke launch. Going to be launched, I would assume, at this position. Yep, the SMD will die. Only has 600 hit points left. And the comm of Mr. Female Dog does control K. He was either going to die to nuke or torp bombers or artillery fire or whatever the case may be. And that is the game. Team 2 wins it almost flawlessly. They had 1 player die earlier on. 3 of the 4 players were hiding in 1 pond. Would have been a juicy nuke had Team 1 been able to pull that off. But that is it. And in terms of underrated player of the game, ooh, I don't know. Let's see. We have 8S 1100, call set 1400. I feel like Hank, not to praise Hank the Wank Tank again, but he did a very good job. He held off Okpuk for a decent amount of time. Obviously, Okpuk ended up leaving the game earlier on, so it gave him a lot of breathing room. And I don't want to say that was the turning point of the game, but it definitely contributed to the overall loss of Team 1. They lost their highest rated player. They lost a lot of APM with that and had to recover from that. Team 2 pushed the southern section and held it for a long time while Hank the Wank Tank just pumped out units constantly. Same thing here with Khalsa. And so I feel like Hank the Wank Tank deserves the most underrated player of the game award this game. Let me know down in the comments if you think so as well, or if I'm wrong, right, kind of wrong. Let me know. Hopefully you're having a wonderful weekend. And again, thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Thank you for those who have already done so during the video and before the video and after the video has been released and is old and is already like a couple months old, whatever the case may be. Anyway, Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see all of you wonderful people in the next one.